Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sunny Goodman campus here. It's Lehigh Sports Broadcasting with the men's soccer game. Lehigh facing Loyola 1-0. As we mentioned before we went off for the break, seems like the score should be a lot more, maybe like 2 or 3 nothing. Lots of good chances, quality chances from Lehigh. But Loyola bending and not breaking yet. So, yeah, your thoughts so far on the game?
Yeah, it was a well-taken chance by number 20 for Lehigh, Beckett Wenger, coming off the bench. He was only on the field for about 5 minutes before he got his opportunity. It was a brilliant flick-on header by Trey Sheeler to put him in. It was a difficult angle, and it took a deflection on its way through, but it found the back of the net. Would have expected Lehigh to take a couple more of their chances. Thomas Robertson had a great chance. The goal at his mercy following a corner kick that was blocked off the line as well. Jason Hinden had another crack at the apple, but that also could not find the back of the net. And then later in the half, that Giacomo Ziza, Lehigh's number 10, had a brilliant turn and an opportunity one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but his Trevella just sailed a little bit wide. So Lehigh definitely in control of this game, but not out of the woods. We have another 45 minutes here at Sunny Goodman campus for Lehigh to hopefully put this game beyond doubt, and for Loyola to try to find their way back into this game. They've had a couple nice counterattacks. We'll see how the second half goes.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Some key players, as you mentioned, Beckett Wenger with the goal. And then we had Jason Pinadaff actually for Lehigh, 3 shots so far in this game. None on target as of yet, but he's definitely applying pressure for Lehigh. And Loyola just trying here, likely this half, to retain possession a bit more and create some chances. The only real chances that they've had so far was on the fast break, and that might be their strategy going into the final 45 as we're underway here in the second half.
Yeah, and looks like Beckett Wenger is going to start the second half for Lehigh. He did not start the first half. Thomas Robertson started. Indeed, Noah Gonzalez is also going to start ahead of Yusuf Gay. So it looks like they may do a little bit of 20-40-20 with Lehigh starters coming in later in the second half. We'll see how Coach Koski plays this.
Yeah, and a tough challenge there by Noah Levy on Lehigh, and that will be a foul in the opening 20 seconds of this half. And here's Loyola now. Looks like they made some changes to the defensive end.
Yeah, Lehigh also made a change with number 28, Thomas DeRussell, coming in. Looks like he's going to play in defensive midfield next to number 6, Noah Levy, with number 4, Trey Sheeler, going a little bit more forward, playing where Giacomo Zizi was playing. Zizi did not come out in the first half, and neither did Sheeler, though. We'll still see if the number 4 needs a rest as we go later into this game, especially with fatigue most likely going to set in after 10 or 20 minutes in this heat.
Yeah, and as Jackson mentioned, too, at the beginning of this game, Loyola was playing 5 at the back. It looks like now they've switched to kind of three main defenders in the back. Oladini was subbed out. Actually, it looks like they do have 4 now back, but different lineup there with Oladini no longer there. And Lehigh's fouled, and it will be, Lehigh was the one fouling, and now Loyola with the kick.
Yeah, a little difficult to see yet as how Loyola's going to line up, but that's a nice diagonal ball for their left wing back. Number 3, Jack Endicott. So a positive start to the half for Loyola as they earn themselves a corner kick. That's number 44, Jordy Lucchese, who played a great diagonal ball, and he's going to go now take the corner kick. He seems to have dropped into a right center back, and as you mentioned, that was number 34, Oladidi, who looks like he may have dropped out for the second half. So not sure if it's necessarily more attacking for Loyola, but a little bit of a reshuffling, hopefully to energize the Greyhounds.
Yeah, and it looks like they might try to get it to Steffens here, the tallest player on the pitch. And it's hidden. Great job to punch it away here by Kinnunen. And Loyola go all the way back to the last defender. Levy able to bounce it down to his foot, but Loyola gets it back.
Yeah, that was an interesting corner kick by Loyola with Lucchese hitting it basically right at Kinnunen and just totally swallowing the goalie around black and white shirts. Luckily for Lehigh, he was able to get a good enough hand on it to punch it away, but here comes Loyola again.
Wagner floats it into the middle. Settled here. And they're shouting for handball, and Loyola will get it. It's a free kick in a dangerous spot here, just outside the 18 on the the right side of the field. I guess it's the left side if you're looking at the goal here.
Yeah, one of the changes Loyola made was bringing in their number 9, Michael Ajagbe, the first year, injecting even more height for this Loyola attack. And he's going to try to cause a little bit of chaos on this free kick as Lucci's and their left wing back, Jack Endicott, stand over it.
Here's the cross into the box. They do get ahead to it. Good diving grab there by Kinnunen.
Yeah, more pressure put on there by Loyola. That was number 26, Curtis Wagner, getting his head to it. Unfortunately, the ball was a little bit behind him, so he wasn't able to generate that much power. But now Lehigh's going quick for Gonzalez.
And it is offside there, but a good idea to float the ball over the top in transition, and a bit of a shove there from Loyola, but ref didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about. I'm not sure if Gonzalez said something, but it was a tight offside call. I could see why Gonzalez thought he was onside, but going quickly certainly almost caught Loyola off guard as they push forward to try to grab an equalizer. They may leave themselves more open in the back.
And here's the kick long. It looks like that was Ryan Mundy being drugged down, but play on, says the ref. And Loyola will settle a dangerous ball to the defender. And headed away by Sam Davis. And now Lehigh will look to transition. And Penedeth was shouting for the ball there. As we mentioned before, he's been able to create a few chances here on that right wing. Initially, he was playing an attacking position, but now over at the right wing to start this half.
Well, and Penedeth's had a lot of success going against Endicott. As Endicott pushes up as a left wing back, he leaves space open for Penedeth to run into. And you can see what Lehigh's doing here. Penedeth is putting his heels on the touchline all the way out and making Endicott choose if he wants to guard him or guard the space in behind.
And good job to step up there by Smiley and gets the through ball. Penedeth now over wide open on the right-hand side, but given away.
Yeah, Gonzalez just took slightly too heavy of a touch. He needs to be a little bit more composed as he goes quickly, but the ref's not going to allow him to take it that far up the pitch. That was a good 10 yards ahead of where it needed to be. I like the idea, though, by Gonzalez to go quick. Certainly had Loyola on their heels.
Yeah, it was a good idea. If he let him go through, it looked like Levy was going to have a wide open shot on goal there, but. And here's, I believe, Sheeler, possibly, in that corner for Lehigh. Gonzalez now. And taken away by Stephenson. And he will stride down the right-hand side. No one stepping up. And the cross in the boxes, or towards the box, is deflected away. Pass back to Kinnunen. Bounced wide and will go out of play. Nearly kept in play there by Penedeth.
That's not great distribution from your goalkeeper in Canada. Would have liked to see them take a touch or at least try to find a white shirt, and they just kind of lofted it out of bounds without a lot of ferocity.
Yeah, and that's the second time this game that it's led to a direct chance by Loyola getting the ball back off a goal kick with no pressure.
Good job by Wenger there to hold up the ball and keep possession out wide to Penedeth. See if the Mountain Hawks can settle down a little bit in the second half.
Mundy ball in, and nice 1-2 by Levy to Penedeth, but just unable to get to the ball before it went out of play.
Yeah, he's seen that a couple times by Wenger and even by Robertson earlier in the first half of coming to the ball and flicking it out wide. I thought Penedeth was going to have a chance to drive at the defense, but unfortunately the ball just ran out of bounds.
And the ball floated over top, headed away by Smiley. Gonzalez forces the giveaway by Loyola.
Yeah, it was a great header by Smiley because he had Ajagbe in behind them. When you have center backs like Ajagbe and Davis, who you're just so comfortable with in the back, makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, and Levy will let it go through. He was offside, but... And there's a cross inside, and that's a goal by Trey Sheeler. Great cross there from, I believe, Beckett Wenger again, and he's directly involved for the second time in this game. It looked like the Loyola defense kind of stopped because they thought Trey Sheeler was going to go for the ball, who was offside, but he opted for Wenger to get it. Crossed it inside at a diving header. Great play there.
Yeah, that was great upperclassman play by Wenger and Sheeler there. As you said, Sheeler made the initial run in behind and was clearly offside. He pulled up, stopped running. Loyola seemed to calm down, but Wenger made a gut-bursting run from the other side of the pitch, a full field sprint. He gets onto it. He was onside. Loyola was nowhere near him, and it was a great cross into the box. Sheeler goes for the diving header. Did he need to go for it? We don't know, but it went on all the same, and the junior gets a goal, a deserved goal for Trey Sheeler, who's had a great game today. So first goal, Sheeler to Wenger. Second goal, Wenger to Sheeler.
Yeah, and if you're a Lehigh fan, you love to see that. That's a smart play there by Sheeler to let it run through and catch the Loyola defense lacking. And now it's 2-0, and the scoreline looks more like how it feels. And there's a great through ball here, and that defended well by Loyola. That's number 20 Beckett Wenger getting drugged to the ground, and here's Sheeler now. Excuse me, that is Wenger with the ball, but given away.
Yeah, Jafar Stevenson made a really nice recovery run there because Wenger had certainly gotten the step on him, and Wenger's been pretty much the pit bull you all expect him to be as we have an injury for Lehigh. Hopefully it's just cramps as he's getting stretched out by Kinnunen. But yeah, Beck and Wenger may not have started this game, but wearing the captain's armband, the senior has certainly made a difference with a goal in the first half. A well-taken finish. He got a little bit of a deflection on its way through, but we did it all the same. And then the second half, like we were saying, a great effort there to run across the field, be smart enough to realize that Sheeler was offside, but he wasn't. And then a great ball into the box, and Sheeler was in the right place to tuck it home.
Yeah, essentially both goals have been that Wenger Sheeler connection. Sheeler with the through ball on the first one, and then Wenger to Sheeler for the second goal. And maybe coach for Lehigh might have to have a debate whether or not Beckett Wenger should start these games, but maybe he would opt to keep him as a super sub.
Yeah, we'll see. Wenger came in at about the 20-ish minute mark in the first half, maybe a little bit later, for Thomas Robertson. And Robertson had looked good in the first 20 minutes or so as well. So we'll see if Wenger plays the rest of the second half or if Robertson maybe comes in for the last 20 minutes. A similar question with Yusuf Gay. Gay has 2 goals on the season, both coming in the same game that was able to keep Lehigh 2-2 against Old Dominion. So definitely a crucial player for Coach Koski. So I have to imagine we'll see Yusuf Gay again, but a great performance by Wenger for sure.
Yeah, and I was actually at that game against Old Dominion. It was an outstanding game, back and forth. Lehigh was down 2 times in the game, but were able to bring it back to 2-2, and that Gay with a goal in the 87th minute, 3 minutes remaining. It was a great game, great crowd, an even larger crowd here today. So exciting stuff from Lehigh.
Well, it looks like Ryan Mundy is going to be going off the field here with the injury, but not totally under his own weight. So again, we hope this is just cramps due to the heat, and hopefully we're able to see him back when the Mountain Hawks play next.
And speaking of future games for Lehigh, they're not back home until September 30th when they face University of Delaware in a non-conference game. But their next game is against Marist. That's out of conference, and then they go up to West Point to face Army, and then down to Annapolis for Navy. So those will definitely be 2 tougher games. A lot of traveling for Lehigh, and they definitely want to secure 3 points here today to make the best of this short homestand.
Yeah, and it's going to be Matthew Aitchison who comes in for Monday as Sam Davis will go out and play right back. So a little bit of a reshuffling for Coach Koski. We'll see how Davis feels playing right back. He's going to have to deal with the left wing back Jack Endicott for Loyola. And we'll see how Aitchison settles in. He's going to get thrust right into the action here as Loyola play long.
And Smiley will let that run through to Kinnunen. Kinnunen now ordering his men to head up the field. We saw this too in the Old Dominion game. Lehigh does not like to play it short. They just like to boot the ball up and try to head the ball away and keep possession towards the opposing side of the field. They don't like playing or building up play from the back.
Well, they want to have possession, but they want to have it in a productive manner, and so they're willing to bet that their forwards can win these long balls forward, as they have this time with Gonzalez running at the defense.
Yeah, that was a great 1-2 play to get the ball to Gonzalez. It nearly runs out of play here, but Loyola keeps it in, passes the ball down, but Lehigh now able to step up in front of the defender. Here's Sheeler now. Sheeler over to Davis. Back to Sheeler. It looks like Sam Davis now playing over as a kind of a right back, originally being a center back. Ball in the corner, poked away by Loyola. Back to Davis. Bit of an obstructed view here. We cannot see what is happening, but it will remain with Lehigh. Davis taking the throw.
Being a little bit encouraged by the ref to take it a bit quicker. I'm sure Lehigh would love to slow the game down with a 2-0 lead.
Swung in. Levy with the header. And headed away by Stephenson for Loyola. And Sheeler now. Davis into the corner. Here's Pinadath. Pinadath putting the moves on the defender. Getting by one, getting by two. Back to Sheeler. And Davis. It's been Sheeler, Davis, Pinadath for the past minute or so in that right-hand corner. They'll switch play now. The back corner to Aiden Gonzalez and secured by the goalie.
Yeah, it was a good ball by Aitchison to the opposite corner that put Jordy Lucis in a tough position with Aiden Gonzalez coming into them. Functionally, the defender, Lucis, was able to shield off Gonzalez, and now Loyola will look to attack in the second half.
There's a bit of jersey grabbing here. The cross inside. Loyola at the ball with the shot, and it just runs off, I believe, his shin and for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity for Loyola as they got the ball. They were able to shift it from side to side. They haven't been able to do that as effectively as Lehigh has been able to. And that got Lehigh's defense moving side to side. And the ball by Endicott to the back post had a decent opportunity for Loyola to actually create a chance. Unfortunately, it goes begging for them. And they remain down 2-0, looking for a way back into this game.
Long kick here by Kinnunen. Secured down and a bit of a shove there, but it looks like it was foot to ball contact. And Smiley will let it run through. Kinnunen plays it wide. And just as I said, they don't like to play short. That was a short ball to the left back.
Well, you can imagine in the second half, they're going to be a little bit more willing to play possession-style football, trying to slow the game down. But immediately they go back looking for Gonzalez.
And Stephenson matching Gonzalez pace for pace there to get the ball away, and Lehigh throwing.
You almost have to imagine that Wenger and Gonzalez must be almost a special line in practice, the Bulldog line, as they just seem to run down every single ball. Don't really let this Loyola defense have a lot of time or energy.
Davis's throw is nearly gotten by Pinadath. A bit of an entanglement there between Pinadath and a Loyola defender, but play on. A slide tackle by Levy. And some disagreements here by Loyola with some of the calls here and grabbing going on, but both sides are doing it, so.
Yeah, I think the ref called that just to a little bit slow down the game to regain control because, like you were saying, there was a little bit of grabbing, a little bit of yelling on both sides, and it luckily goes the way of Lehigh.
Yeah, and it's a bit of understandable frustration here by Loyola. They haven't been able to keep possession of the ball and therefore really try to take back the 2-0 deficit that they're in. Across the side, chested down by Stephenson. And then given away. Loyola will try an extreme press here, but Smiley is cool under pressure.
Yeah, Smiley's been cool under pressure all day, and he's only a sophomore, so he's just got that in his locker, and he looks like a real stalwart for this Lehigh defense for a couple more years.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice that Smiley was only a sophomore. I would have assumed he was a senior with the way he's been playing so far. You could tell He's very respected in the back here, and he's really limited the amount of times that Lee has been pressured or been worried about Loyola buildups.
Well, again, with the way Loyola is playing with that 3-4-2-1, the center backs are under a lot of pressure because they're outnumbered. But Smiley and Davis and now Aitchison there have handled it well.
And it just feels like every time Loyola wins the back the ball, there's just not enough attackers up top to retain possession. And Lee has kind of been forcing that with the way they've been playing. There, Loyola can't switch out from 5 in the back because that puts them at risk of going 3-0 down.
Yeah, and the way Gonzalez and Wenger and Pinedeth have put Loyola under pressure, they're just getting stretched way too thin at the back. And so to put any more players forward, you're leaving yourself wide open. So we have a ball looking for Pinedeth on the right-hand side.
Yeah, good ball. Pinedeth places it inside, bounces to the goalkeeper, but that was, I believe, Wenger almost getting to the ball in time.
But again, that's case in point as just a little bit of space for Pinedeth from the left wing back Endicott. He was able to exploit and almost create a chance, but even thinking about the earlier parts of this half where Loyola looked a little bit more imaginative, they started going forward, creating some opportunities. But as they did that, that opened the door for Lehigh's goal by Smiley.
Here's the cross inside by Loyola, headed away.
Looks like Loyola's going to have a line change as 4 players are going to come on here.
Yeah, and I kind of expected a change like that, and it looks like it was mostly attackers and wingers for Loyola, just because Lee has been able to retain possession of the ball. So um, Loyola's been trying to press a lot of wasted energy, and they need to make these changes here and hope for the best. Cross inside, headed away there by DeRusso. Is the cross inside. Kicked high and wide. And Pinedeth able to get to it. Uses footwork to get past 2. And pokes it inside. Great job by Pinedeth.
Advantage there as Pinedeth was fouled.
Here's Sheeler now. Or excuse me, that is DeRusso. Here's Pinedeth now. Cuts inside. And gets it wide to Sam Davis. Davis now waiting for the defender to make a move. Back to Levy. And now Levy will go back. And the ball long by number 25 on Lehigh will go out of play.
Yeah, and Pinedeth was screaming for it out wide there earlier from DeRusso. He was in acres of space. He's been able to do that because Endicott's getting caught in between a couple minds of going forward and staying back, tucking inside. And that's giving a lot of space for Pinedeth on that right wing. You can see it even now as he's just in, no one's really around him for 10 yards.
There's Gonzalez now to Levy and a shove and a Lehigh kick.
Yeah, one of the subs that came on for Loyola there was Cole McAvoy, who we haven't seen today, but we also see some familiar faces with Charlie Hurley returning to the game. He was able to create a little bit of momentum for Loyola in that first half. Now he returns to the pitch.
And we're about 20 minutes in now to this half. 26 minutes to go here. And Lehigh was able to, in the first 20 minutes of the half, double their lead, 2-0. Here's Davis now with the ball. Pinedeth, great footwork, as always. Crosses into the box and deflected by Stephenson for a Lehigh corner.
And again, if you're going to give Pinedeth those one-on-one opportunities on the right-hand side, he's going to take it. He's going to create chaos like that. So as much as Loyola is going to feel inclined to push more and more players forward, all that does is give him Pinedeth more opportunities to go in one-on-one. And I see Yusuf Gay getting ready to come back on. He's definitely going to take those opportunities as well.
Yeah, and I know this is a pretty big praise, but whenever Pinedeth lines up against 1 or 2 defenders, he does a step overs in it. Looks very Ronaldo-esque.
He wears the number 7 for a reason, I'm
He
sure.
does wear number 7. Yes, he does. Didn't even notice that. There's a header by Sheeler, deflected away by Loyola, and it will run out of bounds for a throw-in.
Now we'll see the Lehigh version of the line change as 3 players come onto the field. Gonzalez and DeRusso will exit. Both of them have put in good shifts here in the second half. And Wenger, with his goal and assist, will also make way. So Robertson, Gay, and Ziza, all starters, will return to the pitch.
Now 1 back here. Good play and a good sliding tackle there. Bit of grabbing, but advantage for Loyola. Here's Loyola strolling into the middle of the field. Gets it back to Stephenson. Ball played wide to Chen. And then the number 3 for Loyola, cross into the box. No one there. And easily handled, but out of play for a corner. Not ideal on the clearance.
Certainly an opportunity for Loyola. We've mentioned their height a couple times. Definitely are going to be looking for number 15, Stevenson, as he comes into the box, as well as some of their other tallly inclined players, we should say. Curtis Wagner up there. Not sure Lehigh can totally stack up to them, but they certainly will do their best.
Here's the corner coming in. Poked away here by Kinnunen. Good punch to the ball. Loyola gets to it first, but hits it out. And Lehigh will take it back.
Yeah, and again, they're doing the same corner routine as they did earlier, where they basically put their entire 8 or so completely around Kinnunen, which makes it really hard for him to see or get much separation. It's a good job by the keeper, though, to get a strong punch to it. As Lehigh gave it away cheaply here.
Here's Loyola at the top of the box with the ball, but poked away by Smiley.
Who else would it be?
Another defensive highlight here for him in this game. There's Pinnadeath, passes it inside. Bit of a triangular passing here by Lehigh.
Go over and practice every day. Make triangles, and Lehigh've done a great job today.
Yep, you begin learning that in youth league, but to perfect it is really difficult because you have to be in constant communication with the entire squad. But Lehigh has done just that today, and it's worked out very well for them. And there's the pass into the center. Stephenson running on the ball, tries to get it through, will get it to the attacker, but poked away again by Smiley.
It's a great flick on by Robertson.
Yeah, now here's Pinnadeath in the middle of the field with the ball. Will go out wide to Gonzalez.
Definitely drew some oohs and ahs from the Lehigh crowd as he sat down as defender. Not necessarily sure is that an ankle breaker or is it?
I would say so, given the benefit of the doubt. Oh, great ball through the back, and it looks like they will put up the flag for offside, and crowd does not like that one. It looked like he was maybe onside or...
Robertson may have gone a step too quickly, but now Pinnadeath is down. That's not what you want to see from Lehigh. He's been one of the better players, especially in this half. He went down on his own, so it may just be cramps. Looks like a similar situation to what happened to Lehigh's right back earlier in the game, Ryan Mundy.
And they will take a break here. About 22 minutes to go. So halfway through the second half, 3/4 of the way through the game, and Lehigh holding a 2-0 lead. And I would have expected them to kind of become more defensive, but they've kept up their pace, and they're trying to go for 3 here.
Well, you don't want to invite too much pressure from Loyola because the second you start giving them the momentum, you allow them to believe. So I think what Lehigh is really trying to do is just keep a nice steady hand of pressure on the Greyhounds to control the ball, control the momentum, control the game, and prevent there from being too much of life in their opposition. But this is not ideal for Lehigh, as Pinnadeath was not only creating chances, but he was drawing a lot of tension from Loyola and preventing them from sending more players forward. So we'll see what they can do in the last 20 minutes or so, as Penedeth looks like he's just getting stretched out right now by the trainer. Again, hopefully it's just cramps and he can continue at least in the next game.
Yeah, and they typically say, I believe the saying is 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer. So Lehigh trying to make sure that that quote doesn't come to fruition. But you have some stats here from the first half that we received. Lehigh at the half, of course, we're halfway through the second half now, but at the half had 8 shots, 2 on target, 3 corners, and for Loyola, they had no shots on target, of course, and a save. But that just shows you kind of the domination that Lehigh has had in this game, and it's continued. It didn't stop at half. Yeah, essentially only 6% of the time Lehigh had the ball in their own 18. So great job by them.
As Penedeth looks like he's going to be able to get off the field, albeit with a little bit of support by the athletic trainer. Jax Adkins will come into the game as his replacement on the right-hand side. So not the entire starting attacking force for Lehigh out there now. But still plenty of goals, with Gay, joint leading scorer for Lehigh with 2 goals so far in the season.
And now play resumes after about a 3-minute break here. And Loyola now with the ball.
Of course, no stoppage time in NCAA, so Loyola will certainly take that rest and hopefully have a strategy to come back at Lehigh.
Yeah, and NCAA soccer is kind of unique in that the clock runs down instead of up. And that's led to some great moments. I believe I saw last year, Clemson won a game on essentially a buzzer beater, which doesn't happen in, European soccer, but when the clock's counting down, leads for some great finishes to games as the ball runs through there for the Loyola goalkeeper.
Now, if you strike the ball before the clock goes and then it buzzes in its flight, does it still count?
I believe so. That's how the game ended, and they counted it as the ball. It was about a shot from half field. I forget who Clemson was playing, but it was I think it finished 3-2. And yeah, you don't typically see that in European soccer, but here you definitely can.
We do love our buzzer beaters here. Can't help ourselves.
Here's Loyola now with the ball in Lehigh's quarter of the field for the first time in a while. Cross into the box. Sam Davis heads it away strongly. He's another great defender here on the team. Experienced senior.
Now Zize doing what he does best, putting pressure on Loyola, and got a little too overexcited and might have put his hands on the back of the defender there, but
yeah, Curtis Wagner went down a bit easily there, and you can see him as he getting up. He was smiling.
That was certainly the crowd's reaction to it. A little bit easier of a pill to swallow when you're up 2-0.
Stephenson now with the ball.
But here we see, and that's a nice ball played.
Nice ball into Loyola, looking for a shot. Lehigh forcing them to go wide, and then a miscued hit there, and Lehigh gets it back. Loyola with the ball, cross into the box. They'll have a chance at the back post, but runs just out of play, and some shouts and yelling from that Loyola attacker that was not on the same page.
Yeah, Tyler Flynn had kept the ball alive there and lost the ball out to Levy before the ball came back into the box. Good job by Kenan to stay calm. But you heard Vanderwalt screaming from the back there, tempo, tempo. Clearly at an emphasis now for Loyola. He's trying to create some chances and going a little bit of a quicker pace. Lehigh needs to get back in control after that stoppage for the injury to Penedeth. They haven't looked as dominant as they have for the first 60 minutes or so of this game.
Here's the header now by number 10, Zisa. And nearly a foul. He did raise his flag, but the head field ref decides to play on, so did not agree with the sideline ref.
Yeah, the referee has certainly been letting both teams play today. Called pretty fairly, both sides, I would say.
There's Loyola now on the wing. Pass it towards the center. with a bit of more momentum here. Cross into the box, header, and that's a goal. Loyola gets one back after running against the grain of play here. What a surprising turn of events.
Yeah, that was number 12, Charlie Hurley. He started the game and came back onto the pitch in the second half, and the goalkeeper, Kinnunen, was caught totally flat-footed as the ball came back to the top of the 18. A little chip ball into the box by Luca Chen. Hurley got just enough on it to redirect it towards goal, and not a whole lot Kinnunen can do as he was, again, caught flat-footed going the wrong way, and it just kind of inked its way into the back of the net. It almost looked like he was going to go wide, but Lehigh needs to regroup here with 18 minutes. Obviously, still plenty of time to go for the Greyhounds to get an equalizer before the day is done. Clearly, to see the energy has been sapped out of this Lehigh team a little bit since Pendeath went off with his injury.
Yeah, you can see, or you could hear after that goal, a bit of moaning from the crowd, and yeah, I mean, it was against the run of play, and it's, I believe, Loyola's first shot on goal all game, and it leads to a goal for Loyola. So a bit of an interesting finish here now, 2-1 with 17 minutes to go, and Loyola with the ball.
Loyola certainly looking the more energetic of the two teams here.
And I don't know if it's a difference between, the subs that Lehigh's had to make due to injury, or just because of some of the added subs for Loyola in the attacking portion of the field, but they definitely look like a different squad here, and Loyola with the momentum.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once Davis moved out to right back, they also didn't look as comfortable without Ryan Mundy on the field. So when you think about it, the entire right-hand side has changed for Lehigh due to Davis moving out to right back and Penedeth going off.
Yeah, and Loyola just winning more of the 50-50 balls, and here they are again on the left side of the field. A cross similar to the past goal, and the goalie goes up tall and grabs it. Great job by him to get over top of the two Loyola attackers that were jumping for the ball.
Not really sure how that wasn't called a foul. It seemed to be clearly running into the goalkeeper there. Ref didn't see it that way, but Kinnunen, like you said, a great job to hold on to that one. Looked more like a wide receiver, maybe a safety.
Yeah, I think we call that a moss right there, going up over top of everyone. And now Loyola with the ball this past 10 minutes, I would say. I was saying it was 70-30 for possession for Lehigh. It's now been 70-30 for Loyola. Charging down the middle of the field is the defender. Passed out wide, retaining possession. Two Lehigh attackers. I cannot get a good view of the play here, but bounced out wide, and Loyola looking to recoup with Curtis Wagner on the ball.
Yeah, like any youth sporting events, the biggest opponent to our field of view is umbrellas, as the sun beats down here at Goodman campus. But again, Lehigh just looked like the life has been sucked out of them. Not a whole lot of impetus from any of the players. They need to regroup, control possession a little bit more as they were doing in the first half. But again, they turn it over and they force themselves to run.
And Sam Davis now putting pressure to the ball. And good slide tackle. And some respect shown between the two players.
Well, hopefully that challenge can energize Lehigh a little bit. Certainly a great effort by Davis.
Cross into the box. Lehigh able to get it away, but yeah, just again another good chance for Loyola. And
all Gay can do there is clear it out for a throw, and so Loyola's going to be able to keep the pressure on. Yeah, Lehigh just looked like zombies out there. They need something to go their way.
yeah, and about at the 20-minute mark, I said 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer, and this is why.
Proper commentator's curse there. When you mentioned, Lehigh not going as defensive, and now they look properly defensive, and they're just inviting so much pressure.
Oh, and there's a ball into the box. A header by Loyola, and he could have chested that down for a clear shot on goal. I'm not sure what was going through his head there, but another great chance for Loyola, and very scary here for Lehigh.
Yeah, it looked like some miscommunication between the Lehigh back line that let McAvoy have a clear chance on goal, but like you said, he only got a little flick out to the header as it goes right into Kinnanen's hands. We'll see a substitution here from Lehigh, trying to inject some life here, as Robertson will make way after being on the pitch for only about 10 minutes. Yusuf Gay will now lead the line.
And a lot of shouting coming from the Loyola bench, trying to energize their men. They're so close to bringing it back from 2-0 to 2-2, and still with time to do more. And deflected away by Lehigh, and it's a corner.
Yeah, and again, and like you were saying, Loyola's made so many substitutions with guys like McAvoy and Hurley and their entire attack, Tyler Flynn, having a little bit more rest than Lehigh's defense. I think we're seeing that pay off now as Lehigh's defense looks a little bit more paled in comparison.
Here's the cross into the box. Back post header by Stephenson, and goes just out of play.
Yeah, again, Loyola this entire game has been hitting their corner kicks directly at Kinnunen, and this time they go a little bit over, so Kinnunen takes a step forward. Stevenson's there at the back post, tallest man on the pitch, but even he's not able to get over that one and into the net. The substitution that Lehigh made saw number 21, number 21, Jax Atkins, come on the pitch for Pinedeth, and haven't really seen him get too involved in the game so far. Would like to see him be a little bit more direct in this game.
And some 1-2 play there down the line, but runs out of play, as Zizo wasn't able to get to that ball in time. Throw in for Loyola to Stephenson. Stephenson with 2 men on him, but able to split the oncoming Lehigh men.
Now,
Sorry.
Shea Coughlin's come back on the pitch for Lehigh. He was playing defensive midfield in the first half, now playing left wing.
And good cut back here for Loyola. Another cross into the box. Back post, not able to get there, but Lehigh and Loyola racing for the ball. And I cannot see from this corner, but I believe it is a Lehigh throw.
Loyola was definitely asking for a foul there as they were battling for the ball, but I think a good no call from the referee. Again, he's been letting both teams be a little physical today, which of course I like as a soccer fan. I think most fans do appreciate.
Ball into the box here, stopped by, and that's a shot at goal and nearly goes in.
Not sure how Charlie Hurley wiggled his way through not one but two Lehigh defenders, being physical, using great technique, and he had a chance on goal. Again, nothing really Kinnunen could do there, but it just drifted wide of the post. Again, Lehigh needs to wake up a little bit here. At that time, now it looks like number 4, Trey Sheeler, their second goal scorer. He assisted the first one with a brilliant header. He looks shaken up on the play. Definitely feeling out his calf and thigh. Now he'll go down.
Yeah, maybe this is some time for Lehigh to recoup and kind of talk with each other. You saw after the first goal, they got into a huddle, and you like to see that. A lot of camaraderie among them, but they have to figure something out here, as they still have a long time to go, 12 more minutes. But yeah, that last opportunity by Loyola, I know my voice didn't sound too excited, but I was kind of obstructed view there, but it was a very good chance for them. It was a shot right in the middle of the box, kind of near the penalty marker, and just went wide. So another dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, Charlie Hurley's looked dangerous since he's come back on in the second half. And there, he was just able to push his way through the Lehigh defenders, and one of them was Trey Sheeler. So I don't know if Sheeler may have pulled something, reaching or grappling with Hurley there, but he is certainly down, getting stretched out, and Lehigh has a sub ready to come in. So it looks like his day is probably done with 11 minutes to go. He's been brilliant today, though, for the Mountain Hawks, scoring the second goal and assisting the first one, doing everything you really want out of a defensive midfielder, the junior.
Yeah, you don't want to see anybody go down with an injury, but especially not Sheeler. You definitely need him for these last 12 minutes. He's kind of the physical presence in the middle of the field. He's able to win back balls, shield them off, give time for people to make through or runs through the defense, and he just opens up so much for Lehigh. But he might be forced to come out here.
And we'll see what Lehigh does tactically. We may see Shea Coughlin move back to defensive midfield with Noah Levy, or we could see someone else introduced in the middle of the park. Matthew DeRussell put in a good shift there earlier in today's game. Sheeler definitely, of the players that have gone off for Lehigh, he's able to walk off on his own weight. So that's positive signs for the future games for the Mountain Hawks, but he'll have to be replaced today. as that's number 5. Introduced for the first time today, Lehigh. Fernando Kohate, senior from Bronx, New York.
And here's the kick now by Kinnunen to resume play. Header through, Gonzalez nearly to it, and that goes out of play. So 11:30 to go here in this game. 2-1. Lehigh barely retaining the lead by the skin of their teeth after being up by 2-0 and looking very convincing to make it 3-0, but it all flipped on its head around the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, that's why we love football, right? Like the entire game can switch at just the flip of a trigger. And the trigger for Lehigh was a couple injuries to the starters, Pinnedeath and their right back, Ryan Mundy, both went out injured, and they haven't looked the same since.
Skipping through the defense, and Loyola through ball and obtained by Kinnunen, just dribbling the ball away, trying to waste time, and then picks it up finally.
And at this point, when you're up 2-1, any second counts here if you're the Mountain Hawks with about 10:30 to go in this second half. Like I was saying, Fernando Kohate will slot into defensive midfield. This is the first minutes of the game, so we'll see how ready he is to go into a very physical, very energetic game as this one.
Nearly got to the ball there and runs out of play. Here's Davis now with the throw.
Yeah, now we've seen Shea Coughlin move over to the right-hand side, the right-winging position, and Jax Adkins has moved over to the left wing. So Coach Koski trying to change pretty much anything to give Lehigh a little bit more life.
Now Lehigh here with the throw near the 18. They won't try for one of their signature long throws here. They'll opt short.
Loyola looks like they're going to make a sub here.
And they'll say to stop the clock, or...
No, the ref signaling to restart the clock. Clock say stop there that entire time.
And now
should have been kept running.
He's going to stop play.
Now they've added time.
And it looks like they added time back to the clock. They added... I believe the ref is saying 9:27 left, so they have to reset the clock. It's not lined up with that. 9:47, excuse me. But yeah, timekeeping is very important in these games because, as we mentioned, it runs down, not up. So no added time.
That's the forward David Williams coming onto the pitch for the Greyhounds. So even more height and energy for these last 10 minutes.
And deflected away, and here comes Loyola now with the quick transition down the field. Lehigh does have the numbers, but Loyola just keeps on advancing, dribbles through past 1, past 2. And that will stop play, pass it out, and it will go out of play.
And that was Williams, fresh onto the pitch, takes a couple big touches, uses athleticism to push it down the pitch. Unfortunately, it runs a little bit wide and out of bounds, but again, showing Loyola can really strike at any moment on these Mountain Hawks who seem a little lethargic right now.
And Lehigh player, I believe Gonzalez.
Gay who got fouled there. Nice hold-up play. The Mountain Hawks will be in no hurry to take this free kick.
Looks like they are hurrying a bit. I would try to waste time as there's only about 8.5 minutes left in this game, and a step by Lehigh, and that is a foul on them. So a free kick for Loyola. And here's a pass over to Wagner.
Greyhounds will certainly be in a hurry as Endicott will push the pace.
Endicott airs the ball into the middle of the field, but headed away.
An interesting change was we've seen Smiley move over to the right center back position with Atchison playing center back really.
Ball floated over, nice header by Smiley, but we'll go right to Loyola. We'll try to recollect. Passed out wide, another cross into the box. Loyola gets there first, but deflected away. Now here comes Lehigh, through ball, And they'll say Gay was offside, and that's another call that the fans do not agree with. It was very close, but maybe a step or two off.
Yeah, it was a tough one. The AR had a good look at it, so obviously trust their opinion. But Gay was had a clear chance. I think Vanderwall was going to get there anyways, but definitely a little anticlimactic to see Gay offside there. As now Loyola will again go long with their free kick.
The kick is long, a bit of holding in the box by both teams. Here's Wagner with the ball, settling it down, goes to left winger. Skips past one, and then his cross is bounced way high and out of play. Just skipped off his foot the wrong way.
Yeah, and it was a good job by Lehigh to put him under a bit of duress. That was number 12, Coughlin, who wasn't going to let Endicott have a clear crossing opportunity and said basically forced him to go early, and that was the end result. But like I was saying, Fernando Cuate, who came on for Sheeler, has almost dropped into a left center back position as Lehigh almost go for a 5-back, and Ziza dropping further and further into the midfield.
That ball is headed away, and Davis will take his time getting to this ball. The ref is ordering him to speed up play here.
I think he will need a few more orderings to do so.
And now back to Davis here. Tries to get past, but good tackle by Loyola and a bit of shirt holding. And that's the first card of the game. That's surprising. That's the first card is a bit of shirt tugging, but he did stop a transition there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would get called a yellow in the first half, but with about 5 minutes to go here, 6 minutes, excuse me, I see why it's called. Davis was pulling his shirt. He was beat. It was a bit of a tactical foul, but not sure if that was a clear yellow card or not, but certainly frustrations for the Lehigh crowd and for Davis. Davis has played a great game today, playing in 2 different positions, so not a whole lot to criticize for him.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Davis going to 2 different positions. The Lehigh defense has really been shaken up here with those injuries. And here's the ball aired into the middle. Good job by Kinnunen to jump above and once again secure it.
Kinnunen will take a nice rest on the floor as he ekes a couple more seconds as we go under 6 minutes. But again, with all those shakeups in the defense, we mentioned the first half how steady they were, and that allowed their midfield to really push up the field. But with injuries, not just to Ryan Mundy, but also to a guy like Sheeler at the defensive midfield position, that makes your defense feel a little bit more unsteady.
Yeah, the first half, I mean, it was basically like a wall back there. You couldn't get past. And as you mentioned, Loyola had no shots at all, not even a shot that was off goal. And here's a Lehigh chance off a deflection. Gay with the pass inside, kicked away by Tucker, and that'll be a Lehigh throw-in.
Yeah, Tucker just came onto the pitch for Luca Chenna, more attacking change for the Greyhounds with about 5 minutes to go. And it was a nice job by Coughlin to put him under duress, and Gay with a nice ball into the box, looking for one of his attacking teammates, but it was kicked away, and now Lehigh's given it away cheaply. You can't be doing that with 5 minutes to go. You can't be fouling like that so far deep in Loyola's territory. They're not going anywhere. There's no need to do it.
And Vanderwalt will go short here. And here's Stephenson now trying to take the space, looking for options as Lehigh sinks back into the defensive end. And there's a pass that nearly got through. It would have been dangerous, but just snuffed out by Lehigh. Loyola still with the ball.
Yeah, there's Noah Levy coming from his defensive midfield over the right side.
Tucker with the ball, loft over, and that will go out of play. So Lehigh gaining back a little more confidence. So are the fans. 4 minutes to go still, but they've been holding off well here.
Yeah, the fans certainly trying to reinvigorate the Mountain Hawks as well as the goalkeeper, Anton Kinnunen, both trying to give them a little bit more energy with just under 4 minutes to go. Yeah, it really hasn't had a whole lot go their way since about the 26th minute mark in this half. But trying to hold on here for 3 points.
Whoa, and that is a bad shove here. That was number 26, Curtis Wagner. It looks like he was just frustrated after the 50-50 ball.
Oh, and they've called it against Lehigh.
It's against Lehigh? I'm not sure what happened there. maybe it was an initial foul on the header attempt by Lehigh, but then Curtis Wagner with just a frustration foul after.
That seems to be the call there because that's what the referee signaled. He still gave the yellow card to Wagner, who immediately put his hand up in apology. He knew he shouldn't have done that, but still gave the free kick to Loyola. So a lot of yelling as we're getting a little more tense towards this end of the first half. I do appreciate Wagner not doing anything more there.
Yeah, it was just some built-up frustration, understandable, but just can't lash out like that, especially at this moment in the game here with 3.5 to go. Loyola with the ball in the corner, but 2 Lehigh defenders on him, and it looks like that's a corner attempt. Sorry with being a little slow on the, actually, sorry, a throw-in.
We'll see a long throw from the Greyhounds now. Similar position than Lehigh was taking their long throw-ins earlier.
A lot of grabbing and shoving going on in the box. Here's the throw-in, lofted high, and that'll be a foul against Loyola, and Sam Davis is pumping up the crowd.
We see some pushing and shoving from Stevenson, who's jawing at the referee and the Lehigh players. Stevenson still talking to the referee. Wow.
So this is definitely some pent-up energy, push and shoving going on in the last 5 minutes of the game. Like to see the intensity, but
Davis certainly getting his applause from the crowds and his teammates. And he deserves it today. I don't know. We need a header tracker on Sam Davis. It might be breaking some Mountain Hawk records.
Yeah, once Sheeler went off the pitch, it's been all Davis on the headers. And I think that's why he kind of moved into that right back position as well. And again, a great defensive play by Lehigh to just get the ball out, and the crowd loves it. And here's Tucker now in the middle of the field for Loyola, passes it back to the last defender. Lofted up towards the left side of the field, 50-50 ball, won by Loyola, and that is a dangerous play with his foot up near his head by Loyola, and yeah, that'll be Lehigh's kick.
Yeah, I'm sure McAvoy will protest that Smiley was the one diving low, but it really doesn't matter because the contact was still made regardless. Even if it hadn't been Smiley's head, if it had just been his foot, it still would have been a foul despite it being that low. So 2 consecutive fouls by Loyola deep in Lehigh's territory alleviates the pressure. As Kinnunen will go long. We'd like to see Lehigh try to retain possession a little bit more with just under 2 minutes to go.
Yep, 2 minutes to go as mentioned, and a Lehigh throw. The ref saying start up play.
Davis, of course, on a yellow card now. He can't dilly-dally too much.
And nice job on the tackle by Lehigh. Bouncing aside for Gay. His shot is saved. Great diving play by Vanderwalt there. Even to retain possession and not have to deflect it away.
Yeah, and Vanderwalt hasn't really touched the ball for the last 5 minutes as Loyola again go forward.
Sam Davis clearance. Loyola gets it back. 1.5 minutes to go. Loyola desperate here, trying to get 1 point out of this game, and that's a foul on Loyola again by Stephenson. He does not like that call. Or excuse me, I believe it was on Stephenson.
And again, that chance for Lehigh, it was great work by Coughlin to win the ball back. That's what happens when you play a defensive midfielder in the wing. He's willing to win the ball back. And Gay, I thought he was going to be able to tuck that into the far corner, but a great save by Vanderwalt. And again, Lehigh gives the ball away cheaply after having a saving grace by Loyola fouling with 45 seconds left. So if the Greyhounds may have 1 or 2 last attacks here.
Yeah, and here's Loyola running for the ball and barely keeps it in play. Retain possession. Great job by them. And that is kicked out, or excuse me, it's still in play for Loyola to deal with. 30 seconds to go. A potential shove on Lehigh, but play on, says the ref. Cuts inside. Here's a cross, and that'll go out of play, and that might do it, folks. A wasted chance there by Loyola, and 12 seconds is where the clock is stopped at.
Kinnunen tried the old strategy of running for the farthest away ball, but ref's not having it.
Here's the kick, 11 seconds. 50-50 ball. Bounced back, and it'll go out of bounds. 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And a great win here by Lehigh. A little shaky at the end, but the first 70 minutes were amazing. Some of the best soccer I've seen Lehigh play in the 4 years I've been here. 2 goals, one by Beckett Wenger, the other by the junior Trey Sheeler. Great team win here. Able to hold off the attacking push by Loyola at the very end. What are your thoughts on the game, Jackson?
Yeah, you said it best. It was a team performance. Not everyone on Lehigh played great at all the same times, but they did what needed to be done. The last 15 minutes, Sam Davis was everywhere on the pitch. Trey Sheeler had a great performance. Him and Wenger, each with a goal and an assist. Some smart plays, some hard plays by Lehigh, and the Mountain Hogs escape with a 2-1 win, benefiting from some cheap fouls by Loyola there at the end. But you know what they say, all wins count the same in football, and Lehigh's going to appreciate these 3 points to kick off conference play here at Goodman Stadium.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 3 wins to start conference play. That's the most important stat of the day. And now Lehigh will look to play Marist in their next game, which is a non-conference game. But the next time you will hear from us here at Ulrich Stadium is against Delaware on September 30th. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we are Lehigh Sports Broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in. If you're interested in Lehigh Sports Broadcasting, you can visit our meetings every other Monday in Roush 137.
Including this Monday, 4:30 p.m. Be
Yes.
there, Roush 137. Follow us on our socials at Lehigh Sports Broadcasting on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. This will be Jackson Cramp and Evan Woodward. We'll be signing off, and a good win for the Mountain Hogs.